Hello there once again, I'm Peter Vaughan and here's another chapter of the name of the day. Now as we've got our alphabet up the top up here, I'm going to start and do the letter A for Andrew. I'm using names that people will know, although there are some names which are not overly common and I'll look at those a bit later. But we're trying to do both sides and looking at both male and female here, so I'm going to put Anne here as well. Anne can be spelt with no E. It can be spelt with one N even. Anne and A-N-N. I've seen different ways in which people spell names. However, under Anne and Andrew, the letter A is at the beginning of both names. Now the letter A represents action. It's a sensitive letter, but it represents get up and go. And the original letter A came from the hieroglyphs of the Egyptian writings and script, which represented an ox. So there's an ox's head, and that's a yoke across its shoulder. And what it would do, the ox would be able to pull the cart along or put a plough behind the yoke and attach it up, and it would plough a field and turn the dirt over a lot faster than a man could dig a field for potatoes, for example, with a wooden spade. So the A represented a change very quickly in the environment or the working or the living conditions. So this would apply then in people's names. So anyone's name that starts with an A, generally they're kind of active, they're onto it. They like to get things done when they have an idea of how to approach or to change something. So with Andrew, we've got a final letter in the name, the W, and a final letter E. Beginning and end. If you take a person's name apart, as some people do here with Andy, they'll change it to a shorter version, or you might get Anne with just the double N. When you take away something from an original name, even though that could be an original name and therefore complete, Anne would change if there was an E on the end of it. So although they sound the same, Anne, although I might have changed my pitch just a little bit there, it wasn't intended. So when we're looking at Andrew and Andy, these are very different names. And even though a person born as Andrew, shortened to Andy, you literally shorten the energy within that person's name, but you've also added a challenging letter here if they don't know what to do with it or how to use it. Every letter is a tool. So with the A, we've got a person who's active. We've got a person who's on the go and can change very quickly. But with all of this stuff going on, the A and the vowels of our language, A, E, I, O and U, are all very soft sounding names, or letters I should say. The vowels come from the lungs outward and they have no restriction, there's no squeezing of the letter or clipping it like the letter B or C or G. So the vowels A, E, I, O and U come straight out with just a movement of the mouth and the shape where your tongue is. So when we have vowels then, the vowels are therefore sensitive. Sensitive and soft. So we've got Andrew. Andrew has a sensitive side as well as being an active side. And if we look at putting the numbers underneath the A is 1, the N is 5, D is 4, R is 9, and the E is 5. And the last one here, W, is also a 5, even though they're in different places of the alphabet. Add them up. 1 and 5 is 6, 4 is 10, 19, 29. 2, 9 reduced to make the number 11, 1 and 1 reduced to make the number 2. 2 means to cooperate. It's a gentle, soft, patient number. The number 11, having two numbers the same, gives it a little more power, a little more essence to it. There's more in there. And this one here then says of mind. Imagine the 11 in a cloud. It means up in the ethers. And there's quite a few Andrews up there who are doing radio work or television work. The 2 and the 9, as you go up from Andrew here, 2 is to cooperate, 9 is to give. So they try and work in with other people to give of themselves. And this way you've almost got a person who could be a counsellor. So a person who helps sort things out, because they have a way of weighing things up. Weighing things up here to make sure that they're even and one side fits the other side. So the name Andrew then is a person who has got an eye for detail. They're very patient. They can get onto something very quickly, make sure they've got all the answers they want, and then they're away with it. Andy, this letter Y here, if we have a timeline here, and it's going in this direction, a person gets to a point in the sound, the letter represents, should I be going in this direction? Well, you should be. So why have you decided, because of something you've seen here, go in this direction, which is off track, pointing you into another direction from where you were meant to be going? Here, not here. You're going up along this Y, and all of a sudden you get to another junction and it says, hey, am I going to continue on this way, or have I now got another choice to go that way? Because Y happens to be the 25th letter of the alphabet, it says to cooperate with everything. 5 is freedom. So it's going to cooperate with everything. You've got such a mess. It says I'm going to go everywhere. And so therefore when you bring those two together and you get the number 7 meaning wisdom and knowledge and perfection, it means that you've got to make a decision for the right way to go, to make the right decision for the application or whatever it is that you're having to make a decision over. And this one, when you get to here in life, and the letter Y for Andy says, hey, at the end of my name, I'm always going to be confronted with, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? So what you do is you consult with the knowledge as part of the letter Y's lesson, and you say, I've weighed up everything and I think I should be going on here. So the letter Y becomes a decision maker, like this. There it is. So the letter Y represents to be decisive on things. Now if we go over to Anne here, and we're looking at the longer version and the shorter version, Anne is 1, 5, 5 and 5. 3 5s are 15 and 1 equals 16. With the 16 here, which reduces to the number 7, again I mentioned about the Y having a 7 value. This is now a 16-7, not a 25-7. And the 1 and the 6 represents I enjoy, I love, I care about, I want to administer, I want to help, I want to do. This 1 being me, and the 6 being the welfare, the well-being of other people. Reducing to a 7, again it says perfection, listening, thinking, evaluating. So Anns think a lot, and they do things for others, but they're quite sad in many ways because others don't seem to want to give back to the Ann the way that the Ann wants to give them out. And the letter E, of course, represents, in its capitalized state, there's lots of things that a person has done in their life that they stack on the shelves of the letter E, and they are happy to talk about everything that they know. So they become very good teachers. They learn from experience and they teach other people about it. But when we've got 1, 5 and 5, we've now got 5, 10 and 11. A little bit like the 11 here in Andrew. This one means that they have daydreaminess. Very short name. The shorter the name, the less tools there are in the mechanics of the mind to work with. So Anns, therefore, are very inventive, creative, quiet people. And they have a way of getting on with the job because of the ideas they come up with. Here's the ideas in the cloud. And they get about doing things from what they have learned with the letter N. The letter N, straight back, a diagonal down and a straight front. That means they take everything that's in their past that they've done up to here. They spill it over into here, get a new foundation for things they're doing, and they build up their knowledge again, ready for the next use of the letter N, which would be like that, wouldn't it? There's so much to learn about in the letters and in people's names and how it makes them who they are. Ann's, for example, here, probably like gold and the yellow colours, and up here and this way would like the purples and the oranges. So there's a great deal of difference in what you can get out of a name. Now, if you've liked this and you've enjoyed learning about Andrews and Anns and Andy, by the way, I'll just add up Andy a wee bit more. That's 1, 5, 4 and 7. 7 and 4 is 11, and 5 is 16, and 1 is 17, and that makes the number 8. And that's authority. So Andys can be very strong-willed, very determined. And even up here, quiet and gentle and determined. So if you've got somebody born as Andrew and they get shortened to Andy, you're going to find them strong and stroppy, but gentle, until they get riled and they'll become strong and stroppy. This is the strength of that name, but it's missing the creativity and the inventiveness of the Andrew, because they're very clever people, never to be underestimated. Their mind is always working. So again, if you've liked what you've seen with Andrew, Andy, Ann and Ann, well, I just want to thank you for watching this, and I want you to click on the like button and even subscribe. And as Peter says, everything is in your name.